And so practicing at home, the purpose of course of this meditation is to teach you how to do it so you can do it at home. The purpose of the Hindu Learning Center is to teach you how to know your life, how to understand your life, how to know what to do with your life. And so we must remind ourselves, or remember also, that just like how we have winter, spring, summer, and autumn, we have those in our lives also. We have the seasons of our life. And in some days, you might be experiencing winter. Some days you'll be experiencing summer, lots of heat. And some days you'll be experiencing spring in your life. And somebody who came to see me wanted to know why they were suffering for the last 20 years. And like the weather, like the seasons, so also our suffering can be in our life in terms of seasons. You will find the man or the woman who suffers and struggles from a poor family in their early days, early childhood, and as soon as they pass around 20 years old, 25 years old, they start to progress. And then you will find a person who is born into a millionaire's home or a millionaire's house. They will experience this flood of prosperity and money and everything in the early part of their life, and then as they get later into their life, they start to go broke, they start to suffer, they start to have diseases and so on. And so we have what you call the seasons of our life. If we can understand the seasons of our life, just like how we prepare for winter, by putting on a coat, by putting on a heat in the house and keeping warm, so also we can prepare for the seasons in our life when the winter comes and the autumn comes and the leaves start to drop and so on. So also in your life, you can prepare for that, those seasons. So you prepare for summer by cooling yourself off with air conditioning. So when things get heated in your life, and you're suffering, then you also can do that. And that's why we have in our teaching and my teaching, the life code and so on. The purpose of life code is to understand when the seasons in your life come. And always you'll find things happen in terms of 3-day periods, or 3-month periods, or 3-year periods. And just like the seasons, you have those seasons in your life. So the greatness of having the knowledge of your life, knowledge to know when the bad part is coming, is that you're able now, that's a blessing. That's a blessing to know that now you're going to have a dark part come in your life, the winter part come in your life. Get your coat. What's your coat? Your coat would be the mantra, the prayer, the knowledge. And to protect you from that coldness of suffering and so on. So that's why it's very important that we understand the life code and the answer. We'll be able to predict what's going to happen into your life ahead of time so you can prepare for it. And many times people will come and they're not prepared and they don't have the knowledge, and they will say, well, Swami, why am I suffering? Why am I having this hard time? Why did my wife leave me? Why did my husband leave me? It's because they never were prepared. How do you get prepared? By coming to see the guru, by coming to see the teacher. The purpose of the teacher is to advise you. We are all students, and we all need to go to our teacher to remove the obstacles, to remove the troubles ahead. If you are not prepared, and this is also Scout's law, always be prepared. How will you be prepared? By having the knowledge. So this lady came to see me, and she said, Swami, I heard you're a great Swami, and I heard that you can predict my future. So, can you tell me about my future? But I do not even want to know when I'm going to die. I only want to know the good things. So I said, well, I can only read for you one day then. And she said, why? I said, because, well, you're going to die tonight when you go to sleep. That's like that. She said, that's not what I mean. I mean, when I'm going to kick the bucket, when I'm going to die. Don't tell me that. I said, well, oh, you mean to say that when you stop paying taxes, or when you stop paying your mortgages, that's what you're talking about. Yes, that's death. But that's a far off way. It could be tomorrow, it could be a far off way, but that's determined by you, not me. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, there are different types of death. For example, the soul cannot experience death, or the body cannot experience death when the soul leaves the body. The body has to experience death before the soul leaves the body. And what kind of death is that? When your wife leaves you, it's like you dying. When you have an accident and you can't walk, that's death. When you're in prison, that's like death. When you're in a hospital, on tubes, that's death. When you are suffering with no money, that's called financial death. And it's interesting that they call it financial DBT, and D, it's the same thing. Still death. But all these deaths have to be overcome first before you can live a long time. Before you can have a long life. Or else if you don't overcome these deaths, then you can die by an accident tomorrow. So the lady's question was, well, Swami, how do I avoid these deaths? How do I avoid these different types of deaths? And so I can live a long time. And I said, yes, if you avoid all of these deaths, you can live for 100 years. So death is not something that comes to you whenever it feels right. Death is invited by you. You invite death. So how is it invited? When you don't know and you're not prepared and you don't know when these other deaths will come. How do you know? By going to see the astrologer, the Swami, the Guru. When you have a Guru, you can escape death. When you have a teacher, you can escape death. When you have knowledge of when these accidents will come, you can prepare yourself. It's like one lady was going to New York on September 2001 for vacation. So she asked me if it's a good time, and I said, no, don't go there, some disaster is going to happen there. I didn't know what was going to be. And after 9/11, she calls me and she says, Swami, I'm very glad that you told me not to go. Because now she was in Toronto. So she was glad that she didn't go to New York City on September 11th, which is when she was going to be at World Trade Center. She was going to visit the World Trade Center. So again, being prepared is very important. So knowledge is important. So we are going to ask for knowledge. In this next chant, we're going to ask that